Today on Listen Up, making a list and checking it twice. But will charitable gifts make your giving list this year? That's next. Welcome to Listen Up. I'm Lorna Duick. The economy is slumping, industries are suffering, unemployment is on the rise, and Christmas is just around the corner. It's the traditional season for giving to loved ones and to our favorite charitable causes. But the latest data indicates the number of people giving charitably is in decline. When the economy shrivels, must too our care for the poor? Or is there a way to give generously in a season of frugality? Today, we're exploring that question from our Christian perspective. One thing's certain, the pool of givers is getting smaller. Fewer than 1/4 of all Canadians reported making charitable donations in 2007. And while the percentage of people who give is higher in the United States, the wealthier North Americans have become, the less we've given. There is good news, however. The overall dollar amount of donations was up last year. Both Canada and the US saw record levels of charitable donations, a fact that some experts say was due to a strong economy at the start of 2007. Well, the economic crisis that is spreading around the globe is forcing some people to make hard decisions this Christmas. Joining me to talk about the impact of the crisis is Peter Barr, National Consumer Business Leader with Deloitte. So you guys have studied this. You
Yes.
know that we're going to shift some things this Christmas. What have you found?
Well, this was part of our annual holiday survey, which we commissioned during the last week of September and the first week of October. So it was right at the very beginning of the turbulence that we've been experiencing for 2 months. But generally, the survey was positive, interestingly enough, and that we believe that most Canadians had planned at that time to spend the same amount as last year, if not a little bit more.
What do you predict is going to happen to charities this Christmas?
Well, okay. Again, this is not really part of our holiday survey, but as a person who's also involved in the charitable sector from time to time, at least personally, I think it's a worrisome time for charities because, our survey is suggesting that gift giving, our total spend on holiday spending, may not be affected as much as one might otherwise think. I do think that general economic concern might reduce the average household's ability or desire to necessarily spend money outside of the home on charitable gifts.
All right, and how long are we going to bunk down for these tough economic times? Have you made any predictions?
I think that certainly at very least the first half of 2009 is going to be pretty tough throughout most of the world, certainly in North America, and it'll be the worst part of the recession or the depression in the economy for Canada.
All right, Peter Barr of Deloitte, thank you very much for following the trends for us.
Thank you.
Well, there's one charitable organization that is feeling optimistic this holiday. World Vision Canada conducted a poll with Ipsos Reid that found while most people are tightening their belts, they hope to give as much as before. Listen Up's cultural correspondent Melinda Estabrooks has this report.
World Vision Canada, Nicole speaking. How may I help you?
It's the sound of hope that will give thousands of families around the world a Christmas gift this year that they will never forget.
The dad got sick. They had gotten some goats from World Vision through the gift catalog the year before, and they now have 10 goats, but they sold 2 goats for about $200. That paid for his medicine that basically kept him alive. That's the difference.
And while other nonprofit organizations are bracing for a hit in charitable giving this Christmas season, World Vision Canada, namely their president Dave Toyson, is rather hopeful and optimistic.
My theory is that there's like a thermometer inside of us, that the more affluent we become and the more preoccupied we become with ourselves, there's a kind of thing that says to us, this isn't healthy. We got to do something about this.
And we are doing something about this. According to a new Ipsos Reid poll, 82% of Canadians say they will give as much or more to charity this Christmas.
I call it the reciprocity cycle. You go out and help somebody, not because you're expecting something back, but you get something back. It's just the way it works. And so, we for example, we wish it for our children, right? We wish them to be generous because we know just intuitively that there's something good about that. And our greatest moments in life generally have something to do with love or affection, something that was given to us in a generous way, in even an unmerited way. That's at the very center of who we are as human beings. So I think generosity is kind of almost as natural as breathing.
And while the Deloitte study says Canadians will be spending approximately the same this Christmas, this Ipsos Reid poll discovered Canadians do intend to cut back. First thing to go, dining out, followed by less Christmas presents, then entertainment, and finally, clothing purchases.
The big picture is you have to remain hopeful, because if you're not hopeful, you're letting the negatives overwhelm your perspective, and that's dangerous.
And hopeful and generous is what Canadians are. Last Christmas, close to 91,000 Canadians bought presents, goats, chickens, and school supplies worth more than $18 million from the World Vision gift catalog. This year, World Vision hopes to raise $20 million.
Giving is one of the things that makes us human.
Reporting for Listen Up, I'm Melinda Estabrooks.
When we come back, is it possible to give even when it hurts and not feel the pain? This man says so.
Lots and lots of ways that we could dramatically cut back and start giving 10, 15% of our income to empower poor people.
This segment brought to you by Samaritan's Purse. For more information, visit SamaritansPurse.ca.